Today is November 17th, 2015. This is Brome Bird News, your weekly show about birds and our planet. I'm Tatsiana Thompson, and today we're going to talk about birding tours in India, why sunflowers are so great to plant in your garden, why some birds fly in a V formation, and governments getting involved in bird collisions. Dr. David Bird will talk about saving baby robins. One of my dreams is to go to India for the food, the culture, and the birds, of course. The Uttarakhand states is an area known for such birds as ruby shell ducks and green warblers, and there are thousands of fantastic birding tours available there. But scientists and researchers are getting their feathers in a ruffle because not a penny, or should I say a rupee, is being put towards preservation and study of those birds. Scientists are now working hard to raise awareness and change legislation that will allow them to study birds in the wild and create laws to protect them. They'll be presenting at the 27th International Ornithological Congress in Vancouver in 2018. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they succeed. We all live in different areas. I'd love to hear about what you grow in your backyard and your gardens to attract birds. This year was my first year trying to grow sunflowers in our garden. I was amazed at how low maintenance they turned out to be and how much the birds enjoyed them. A gardener in Pennsylvania lines his driveway with sunflowers every year. In the fall, he collects the seeds to feed birds through the winter. But this year, the birds beat him to it. There was so much activity around the sunflower patch that he decided to let the birds have an early feast. Within a couple of weeks, there wasn't a seed left on the ground. I think a lot of us love birds not only because they're so beautiful, but also because they seem to do things with a purpose. Scientists studying birds that fly in a V formation compared the way they fly to a computer simulation. They discovered that it was all for good reason. Flying like that saves them a lot of energy, up to 70% more than flying alone. Not only that, they also discovered that young birds need to be taught how to fly in formation. And believe it or not, there are no egos involved. The leaders change regularly without getting their beaks out of joint. With all the environmental bad news, it must be tough to be an environmental commissioner. But when things do go right, it must be an amazing job. Ellen Schwartzel, an environmental watchdog in Ontario, Canada, is appealing to the provincial government after a court ruling that light reflected from buildings is considered a pollutant, especially on high-rise buildings when it can contribute to bird collisions. She wants the provincial government to step in and push building owners to install devices that will reduce the number of bird collisions. The Ministry of the Environment initially rejected the idea, but upon reading Ellen's report, decided it was worth looking into. We know nothing will change overnight, but let's hope this is a push in the right direction. What do you think? Should the government introduce laws that require high-rise buildings to have anti-collision devices? There are two things I want to mention to you. First, we're preparing a special Christmas show where I'm going to have a look at some of the top gift ideas for the holidays. Fun? What's even more fun is that I will be giving away everything we'll look at on the show. Full details next episode. The Festival of the Cranes opens today in San Antonio, New Mexico. The festival runs for 6 days and has more than 140 events for the whole family. Check it out on their website. Hi, David. Today's question is from Marlene Doyle Kelly from Quebec, Canada. Here's what she wrote. I tried to save a baby robin with a broken leg without success. Should we try to save robins that fall out of their nests? And how should we care for them?
Hi, Marlene. I picked up on a couple of things from your question. First, you said it was a baby bird, and then you said it had a broken leg. Those are two entirely different situations. If you find a baby bird that's healthy, it's likely a youngster that's come out of the nest that's spending a day or two on the ground before developing its flying skills. It's a very vulnerable time for these young birds. Your best bet would be to take that bird and put it up high in a shrub or a tree away from marauding cats. If it's got a broken appendage like a wing or a leg, that's an entirely different matter. That requires usually the skills of a veterinarian to set the bones. And on top of that, if you hand feed a baby bird, chances are it'll become imprinted upon you as first its parent and then later on as a social mate, thereby making it unable to breed with its own kind. Another option might be to look for a local wildlife rescue center and take the bird there, and they'll find the best way to mend it and get it back in the wild again.
Thank you very much, David. We'll have more questions for you next week. And now it's time for our weekly giveaway. This week's prize is the new Squirrel Buster Legacy from Brome Bird Care. Like all Squirrel Buster products, it's guaranteed to be 100% squirrel proof. Let's have a look at this week's top 5 entries. And the winner is Joe McCullough from Warren, Pennsylvania for his picture of the northern flicker. The funny thing about flickers is that even though they are woodpeckers, they prefer to forage for their food on the ground. For the next week, we will be asking you, our BBN community, to vote for the best picture. We'll post them on our Facebook page where you can vote and comment. I'll see you next week. That's all I have for you this week. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest episode. Send me your stories, your pictures, and questions, and keep an eye out for my Christmas special. For full stories, please click on the links below provided in the video description. Have a fantastic week.